Testing. All right, here we go. And we're going to try. Hopefully they can hear us. And 3.
Let's do it.
Oh, shit. Impulse. There we go. Hello, and welcome everyone to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As always, we're your hosts, Danny and Juice. We are so sorry for the delay. As usual, my computer is giving us a shit ton of problems. But we're going to get that fixed soon, I promise. Juice, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, Juice. How you doing, Danny?
What?
Freaked you out, huh?
That was a good
Yeah.
one. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm here. I'm hyped. I'm ready to talk some wrestling. For those of you that are here in chat, welcome. We appreciate you taking the time and letting us into your homes here on this lovely Thursday evening.
And for waiting.
The weather outside is quite cold, but we appreciate you letting us come on in to heat things up with you.
I'm so cold.
Yeah, so put on your heat, my friend. If you haven't seen it over in chat, I put some quick text there just to let everybody know. If you missed our episode on Tuesday, we are starting our first ever fantasy season, starting at the Royal Rumble, going until WrestleMania Night 2. If you want to sign up, all you have to do is put in chat that you are in, you're interested, and you're good to go. Everybody gets $30 million in their budget to spend on a roster of their choice week to week.
Real life dollars.
And real life dollars. It's all going to be via Venmo, so it's a hell of a thing for me. But I'm gonna power through it. You get $30 million to make a budget your team to score the most points in that week. It's week to week, up against everybody. All the details are over on our Facebook. I won't go through everything again, but it's all there. Sign up in chat. Sign up on Facebook or all of our socials. And we really hope you join. It's going to be a lot of fun for the next 2 months. And I'm actually going to watch some WWE to do this.
Jay DeFalco said, give me that monies, bro.
All right. I take that as you signing up. Thank you for the cause.
That is 3 signups so far that we know for sure. We've posted a lot on social, so please, like Juice said, sign up.
Yeah.
Also, please... just looking at our numbers, our subs are down to 4 out of 10. If you have subbed in the past, your month might be over. So please just double check. If you could give us a resub, that'd be great. And if you haven't yet been nice enough, if you could please give us a sub. As you can tell by our delay, I need a new computer. I need anything to kind of help me out. Anything helps. And we want to put on a better show for you. So please help us out. And with that being said, let's start our show, Juice. We got our last point standing, a lot to talk about this week, both AEW and WWE. Start us off, buddy.
All right. So this past Saturday on Collision, it was a pre-taped episode, but still a very good episode. I thought.
Agreed.
I
liked it a lot.
I really enjoyed Collision this past week. We kicked off with the Texas Death Match between Christopher Daniels and Adam Page. I thought it was solid. It wasn't like a pay-per-view level one, but it was a good TV hardcore fight between them. I think they did exactly what we thought they were going to do. Very effective. And as we saw in Dynamite, and from everything I've seen online, it looks like that was Christopher Daniels' last match, and he is indeed retired.
And with that,
yeah,
I think it was the right way to do it. I think the match went off correctly. It wasn't supposed to be a pay-per-view match. He hasn't wrestled in a while, you know what I mean? You don't want to put him in that spotlight. And plus, with the way they were going to end it, I don't think you want to, end it like that on a pay-per-view. That's more of a storyline kind of ending. So I like the way they did it. If it is his last match, hell of a match to go out on, hell of opponent. If it's not his last match, because, wrestlers never say never, who knows? Hopefully it doesn't happen too far into the future where it kind of sullies this one. That's all I request in the world out there.
I have a feeling it is. I mean, obviously, like you said,
I believe
never
him too.
say never in wrestling. But he posted today, he got home from his travels, and his family had a whole thing, whole poster celebration thing around the house for congratulating him on retirement.
That's awesome.
So I mean, while on Dynamite they kind of teased oh, is it or is it not? Seeing that from his family, that makes me feel like they know and this is real and it's it. So,
yeah, no, that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. All the respect in the world to Christopher Daniels. He's one of the great ones. It's a shame he never got that top level, but I think he had a very good career. I'm glad his eye got sorted out towards the end there. I think that definitely hurt him with the last few years.
I know. It was, I mean, they made it work with some stuff, but it definitely affected it.
Yeah, and I like what it's gonna do for Paige. How they kind of been setting that up, where like you can see like it's kind of getting through to him, where it's like, oh my god, this is the consequences of my actions.
Hmm.
This is what's happening to me. Like this is what I'm causing rather to other people. So
Yeah,
I
the
think
way
it's
he
gonna pay
reacted
off.
last night was good. I think that's going to be kind of a good shift because
Yeah,
eventually he has to be a baby face. But like with how
it's coming.
hard he is right now, you know, you need something major and drastic, and this is a good
Eh,
major drastic move. You know,
yeah.
especially with the promo. I will say this right now: both shows, both companies. Great promos this week. I really enjoyed a lot of promos from both companies this week, and this is another example of that.
Yeah, so all good all around. Daniel's also bled like a motherfucker. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like
When
a
you're
lot.
bald and sweaty, man, that shit's gonna pour out. Austin
Woo!
proved that.
It went everywhere.
It's
It was great
crazy.
though. Good stuff. All right.
Perfect
Next
timing.
up, I try. What can I say? I'm ahead of the curve. Next up, the Undisputed Kingdom. And can I say
Hold on
that
one
felt
second. Sorry, I'm having some. What is happening over here? Go ahead. Sorry, now we're good.
that felt like a warm hug this past Saturday. Seeing seeing the three of them come out with that music playing,
Yep.
doing their entrance, wrestling in trios, getting the way. Man, it felt
It was
good.
awesome.
It
It
felt
was
so
awesome.
good.
I loved it.
Um,
And you
loved
can
it,
tell they're
loved it.
so happy being together. Like this is what they've been waiting for a while. All the injuries and stuff have been like kind of
Yeah.
delaying this. They are so happy being together, and it really shows. I'm excited for it.
And I think it's the best thing they can do for Cole right now. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's gonna. It may not stick long term. I think keeping him in trios matches, I think, is the right call. Jay, I agree. Now have
Yep.
him win the trio titles and do something with these
I
belts. I
should
was
point
just gonna
this way
get
to
to
the
that.
chat.
Was that?
I pointed the wrong way because I'm pointing at my screen where I see it, but I should be pointing at the
Oh,
chat when I'm like, yeah, Jay, good job.
it's fine. But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think that's the way to go eventually. Obviously, you want to warm them up a little bit. I wouldn't do it too quick, so I'm fine with it taking a bit. But it seems like right now they're doing Garcia and the returning Angelo Parker, which is cool. I mean, that's good for him. I wonder if they're gonna keep like the three of them together now more long term because they've kind of been loosely together. But I don't know. We'll
Hmm.
see about that. But I'm looking forward to that match this weekend too in on Collision when they're doing Undisputed Kingdom versus 2.0 and Garcia.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
So,
good match.
so yeah, it was just nice to see Undisputed Kingdom together, and I'm still waiting to see what's gonna happen with Taven and Bennett. They're definitely gonna pull that string eventually, but I'm okay with right now it being like this. But as far as I recall, there hasn't been any explanation about like what's been up and where they've been. But that's
Yeah,
fine, I guess.
and plus, I'm glad that they're not doing it with MJF. Maybe like wherever they go, they're gonna be like, oh, we forgot and come back with someone
Mhm.
else. Like, I'd rather them not be with MJF anyway. So I'm glad they're giving it a little more space and time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um, all right, next up, the
Ugh,
Acclaimed.
this is a rough one, man.
I disagree.
No, no, no. In
Um,
a good way. Like I'm sad in a good way. Like I love the Acclaim, but it had to happen.
I like the segment. I mean, I think it's the at this point you really can't do like a moment in like a match where one
Mm-hmm.
jumps off the rope or the apron. It's been building for so
Agreed.
long. You might as well do it like a segment. Do it like you did here. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought they were gonna end up putting something more in that bag, of course, because wrestling. But there was something in it at least. Um, I like it. I just hope that they can all. I thought for a minute they were gonna put Bowens with Caster as a heel, but I'm glad they didn't go there. Um, I'm wondering where they how they land on their feet though. I mean, I have confidence that if they're booked well, they can end up okay, but I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to see how they're going to end up
I
because
I
I just
I
yeah.
hate to say this, but wrestling has kind of proven this over time. I don't think
Mhm.
Bowens is gonna get a good push. Um, just historically, gay wrestlers just haven't really gotten that push to the upper card. I hope I'm wrong, and he could finally be that turning point. But like, I don't think he will. I think Caster will get a good run as a heel before he fades into the background.
See, I think of the two of them, I definitely do think Bowens has the higher ceiling.
I do too.
Yeah, Caster can be a heel for now, but it's like, what can he really do different with his shtick, like on his own? So like, if one of them's gonna be more successful in the end, I think it will be Bowens, but we'll see how this plays out. But
I agree with that, but
yeah.
they're pushing Caster so much harder than Bowens right now that I already like the writing's kind of already on the wall. Just they did the same thing, and I'm not saying I'm not saying they were a big name, but even Sunny Kiss, when they did the Sunny Kiss turn and they had a lot of fans backing them up, they didn't really do much with that. Like wrestling just doesn't really do well with just knowing how to push LGBT wrestlers. That's just the truth.
Yeah, I won't get too much into the Vince side of that, but I definitely think it'll be
I'm
different with Tony
hoping.
Khan.
Agreed. I'm
Um,
hoping.
so Jay says there's always an HBK and a Marty whenever a tag team breaks up. Very rare cases of both members being successful singles performers. It's true, and unfortunately, that's also part of the Vince thing. It's
Hmm.
kind of been ingrained into like wrestling now, where it's like you almost feel like it's impossible. Um, but we'll see. We'll
I
see how
hope
things play
I
out.
hope we're wrong
I have
about
a,
it.
I have a feeling one, if not both of them, are going to end up just being in another stable in 6 months
That's
anyway.
what I think too. I
Um,
agree,
that's
and
kind of how it
I think
goes.
Max Caster
But
is going to be part of the Callis family.
and
They're going to add
I don't think
someone.
so. I don't think so. We'll see. Speaking of going into the next segment now, we have the opening to Dynamite. We have Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega and the Callis family. Man, this segment was hot.
Fire
Um,
until they ruined it.
well, okay. I mean, listen, that's unless we're talking. I'm assuming we're talking about the same thing.
Yes,
That's just a wrestling thing at this point. What do we get? That's
the
bad
camera
production.
work
I
that
know
was
it's bad production. I
it
know.
was, but my okay. So my bigger issue, and I'll give you credit on that. They didn't maybe know Kenny was going to go at that point. They mistimed it, whatever. They didn't show a replay of that for almost an hour.
I know.
That was
I know.
crazy.
I know. There's bad production. And listen,
That's what I think was the issue. But everything else,
I
fire segment.
yeah.
I
I
loved it.
I know I'm not a production guy, but like I can't understand not knowing I can't understand knowing what's coming and then going off of it
It's
at any
crazy.
point when it's about to hit. Like whoever's on the should just
Have
be
a
like
split screen. Have something. Like it's
whoever it is should just
crazy.
be like stay on him, stay on him, stay on him, stay on him. Don't cut. Like that's it. That's all you got to do. No one cut.
No one cut.
No one cut. If I was producing the show and knew where the spots would be, I'd have all cameras rehearse their spots before they left. Yeah, but you know what though? Even WWE misses them, man. So like rehearsing, that's
Yeah,
just poor production.
but
That's just poor
but
production.
it's just again, I don't mind them missing the live spot. WWE's done it. Remember with the Edge Rumble, AJ
Oh
Styles
yeah.
Rumble, like they've done it a bunch of times. The
Hmm.
the replay thing I could not understand.
Yeah.
I was
All right.
really waiting for. I'm like, all right, just show me what happened. Cool, I missed it.
So
Show me,
for
and then I
for the
forgot
sake of
about it.
time, for the sake of time, I'd like to talk about the rest of this
Sorry,
segment.
please, yes,
No, it's okay. We're in agreement here. I just want to make sure we talk about everything else.
you're right.
I thought it was great how Omega and Osprey were like the beginning of it, like, nah, I'm never gonna trust you. You suck. And like after like going through that war, that war and that fight, it's like, all right, fine, I'm with you. Like, let's do this. Like, all right, like, let's just. It's just I liked that it was that quick. You didn't really need a slow burn of it. Like, I mean, you could have done it for a few more weeks, but
For
whatever.
what?
At this
No
point,
reason. But also
yeah.
the way the fight happened, it didn't need to be like anything besides that because that was going to
Mhm.
happen every week until one of them said, "All right, I'll give in." Whatever. Like Kenny was even saying, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you just kind of beat the sense into me, being like, maybe I'm the one who's wrong here. You're
Yeah.
right. Let's make up."
Yeah. And it did go. I felt like it was going a little long, not too long, but it was getting there. I was like, all right, like. But then that moment happened. I was like, all
Yeah.
right, redeemed, fine. I do think I don't know if you saw this or noticed, but Samoa Joe or Nick Wayne couldn't make it to the show, so they cut Joe versus Wayne from last night's Dynamite, and I do think some of that time went to that segment, and then I do think the rest of that time did go towards. I know it's not on here. I don't want to talk about it. I know a lot of that time did go towards probably that Jarrett MJF Adam Page stuff. I don't think all of that was like planned. I think that buffered out Joe and Wayne missing. Something had to, so
Yeah.
that's what I think it was.
No, for sure. And
Um,
I was going to ask you, and I forgot to ask you because since I stream it,
Please.
since I can't watch it live, or
Mhm.
record it, I sometimes miss like backstage segments and stuff. So I wasn't sure if there was something that happened with Joe or Nick that I just like didn't see. I'm like, did I get this wrong? Am I like not remembering the match right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, just one of them. They didn't specify who, but one of them couldn't make the flight with the
Gotcha.
weather.
Jay DeFalco's comment is hilarious. I love it.
That venue was perfect for those moonsaults. Darby's probably wishing he was at the venue. Yeah, by the way, another great venue.
I liked it a lot. Great crowd.
Looked awesome. Great crowd all night. Much better than last week's crowd. Even though
Mhm.
that last week's crowd wasn't bad, but
Mm-hmm.
better venue, better crowd. I love the trusses with them jumping off of them like that. Very cool.
Agreed.
Moving on.
Okay.
Tag team titles on the line last night. Private Party defending against Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. And Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are your new AEW World Tag Team Champions. I'm going to let you go first. What are your thoughts?
I wasn't happy. Well, we said last week that we didn't want this to happen. Like, literally, this exact scenario we said we didn't want to happen. I wasn't happy unless someone got hurt and I just didn't notice and, like, they had to change it. It seemed like it was a glorified squash match, and I think that kind of sucked. I was hoping they were doing the build where he got taken out at the table and then came back and, like, was able to catch him by surprise and get the victory. Didn't happen, and I just think it kind of shit on Private Party's reign. Like, I don't think it was a good way to end it. I don't think they look strong out of it. I don't think they are going to be number one contenders that are like we believe are going to get the belts back. I just think they kind of messed it up.
Yes, this goes up there for me. I don't have like a list, but like this goes up there for me as probably one of the worst booking misfires of Tony Khan's whole AEW career.
Yeah, it
The
was a
whole
bad
run
one.
that he's done, like not even this moment. I'm talking the entire from Private Party winning them to now. Like think about it. They held the belts for 2.5 months. They defended them twice. Once was at Full Gear. It was a thrown together 4-way tag match that you knew they were going to win. And then they fought Andretti and Leo Rush on Collision. That's it for tag title defenses. They even then they were the third wheel in that story because it was Leo and Andretti feuding with Top Flight.
Yeah.
Like Private Party never got a feud, and they never got a story to tell because the entire time that they were champions was the Continental Classic. So the tag division got put on the ice, and they did nothing. And like this whole thing makes them look terrible. Even when they came out, they played the wrong music. You notice that?
I didn't even realize that.
They played, well, it's not their wrong music. They played, remember they had that new music for a while?
Yeah.
And then they went back to the original.
They played the new one.
So when they first came out, they were playing the new music, and you could tell, especially Isaiah Cassidy, he was pissed. He was annoyed that the music was playing.
That sucks.
Like, you could just tell he was off. And then while they were going up the stairs onto the ring, the old music hit. So they changed the music midway too,
That sucks.
which made it more obvious that they fucked up.
Jay doesn't agree. Jay says it didn't feel like a squash. The story was these guys were doing their best to keep up with a much bigger, stronger, hard-hitting team, and they came up short. What I don't agree with is what offense did they really get in? Like, I'd agree with that if they like had a little bit control, or maybe if like they were able to get Shelton Benjamin like in a corner and he had to make a tag for Bobby, and then Bobby took over. But like it didn't really feel like they ever got started to me. Maybe that's just me. But.
So. No, you're basically right. Here's the problem. What happened was all of Private Party's offense came during the commercial break picture-in-picture because when they came back, Excalibur I think basically said that during the commercial break it was all Private Party. So like everything that was Private Party, no one really saw.
Of course. Okay.
So that's what hurt.
Because I don't
that.
get the
Now,
picture with the streaming stuff because they cut off the commercials and just go right to.
Here's the thing. All right, my last point about it, and then we can move on for now. At face value, I don't mind the move. I don't like Lashley. I don't mind, like, it's all about the chase. I don't mind the baby, but the problem is you never made Private Party look believable anywhere along the way of their reign. The crowd was cheering. The crowd was cheering for the heels and booing. Private Party was
chanting,
pinfall.
"We hurt people."
Like,
the entire crowd was chanting that. That was nuts.
You failed as a booker when your tag team champions that are baby faces are getting booed like after all this time. So whatever, we can move on from it. I don't mind the move at face value, but Tony messed this up by
And
not.
this is and again, this
Yeah,
is coming from a guy who likes Bobby Lashley. Like I like Hurt Business. I
yeah.
love the stable. I don't mind them being tag team champions. I don't like the story. I don't like what they did to Private Party. I don't even and again, the match it just didn't seem like they gave them a fair shot to make them look a little strong, but now it turns out that they did just during the commercial break, which kind of sucks. But that's just yeah, that is what it is. All right.
Well,
Moving
all
on.
right. Next up, Harley Cameron. Man, can I tell you,
Shoot, she's
like,
great.
if I've never had an agenda more
She's so good.
than for this to be the match at Grand Slam, it's
I
this. Like,
hope so.
even before they did her like Harley with Mercedes, when they did Harley and Tony, and they kind of teased that her and having a match, immediately I was like, there it is, Harley Mercedes. Now, I'm the biggest Mercedes Moné fan you probably know.
Yeah.
I'm ready to say it. Put the rocket on Harley Cameron. Beat her in Grand Slam Australia. Let's go.
So
Give her the TBS title.
am I the only
okay.
am I the one thinking I'm sorry kind of changed the topic but you brought her up that kind of Mercedes isn't really doing much like they're kind of resting
No.
on they're kind of resting on just her like I want to see her in a better feud and more like promos like with people. I don't know, like the Harley Cameron thing. I hope that they do more back and forth because that was fun last night. Like I
Yeah.
enjoyed that. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like they're just kind of resting on like her being the big signing and big money Monet. And it's like let her kind of be more active. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of going crazy with that.
Yeah, no, she's been feuding with Stat for the last few months. So she's had programs, nothing like, I guess before the Stat thing, there was a stretch there after Brit where it was kind of like, okay, what's going on? We're doing a little thing here and there, but I get what you're saying.
I think okay. I want more character. Like Harley Cameron, I'm loving the character. I'm loving the personality. I want to see more character for Mercedes. I guess. I just feel like
Yeah.
I'm seeing like a different type of Sasha, and it's like, give me something better. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
you're seeing Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
So it's different. But no,
Anyway, back to Harley.
I hope that that's not a tease and they pivot to something else. Like I hope it's not a write off and now she goes, and I hope they give Harley some wins, build her up over the next month because you have less than a month, but you have time.
Well, you
Um,
kind of have to after that promo because after her saying like you never won, I'm not giving you a shot. The only way she's gonna get a shot is by starting to win. So like she's
Yeah.
got to get a string of wins if you're actually gonna give her any type of push. And if you're
Yeah.
giving her this TV time and not giving her a push, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, the rule Tony clearly has is 3 wins gets you a shot. So all she has to do is win 3 matches.
That's fine.
In the
Just
next
get
2
some
weeks.
wins.
So
Yeah.
they can do it. Either way, I'm thrilled for it. I'm excited. Will I be heartbroken if Harley loses? No, but I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, okay, at this point, Mercedes has been champion since May, and we're about to hit February. So like, I don't mind her being champion, but like, if I'm thinking about like if you're gonna do it, I wouldn't mind this being the spot to do it. Is all.
And not to mention, you got to assume eventually they want to move Mercedes to the World Championship. So like, you got to get this belt off her eventually. So why not with someone like Harley who's really doing great work?
We'll see. We'll see. Well, again, it's kind of what they did with Omega and anybody else that has multiple belts. It's like when's or Eddie Kingston. Like when's the first domino gonna fall?
I know.
That's kind of what's
Yeah.
going on here too.
And I'm sure the other
So-
promotions are kind of waiting for that too, because like obviously they have to wait for the AW to lose, because that's probably the reason. Like,
you don't know. I don't know that. I don't know.
so I'm gonna
Eddie wasn't like that. Eddie wasn't like that. Last one Eddie lost was New Japan. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
Either
that's what
way.
I'm saying. Like they usually want AEW. Like AEW wants to be like the first one. Wouldn't that make sense? Not the last.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they have that much say amongst their companies. But either way,
Fair.
moving on. Excuse me. Some burpees. My last
Cope.
point. Yeah, the main event: Cope versus Pac. I loved this match.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. I'm glad, Copeland's back in the ring doing his thing. I think this was his first one-on-one back too.
Yes.
I think he's only been doing like tags, so this was very good. I loved the neck work that Pac was doing with him, the selling from Copeland. Just a great match. I highly recommend if you guys missed it, if you're watching, you didn't see it, go back and watch that match. Very well done. and the spear to the back that Copeland did. I've
That
never
was
seen him do that.
so
That was
sick. Bro, that looked
pretty
like it
cool.
really hurt. Like, part
Yeah,
of that was action, and part of that was like, I feel bad for the man. That must have hurt.
yeah. And you know, I know we're gonna get into this and we're gonna go down this rabbit hole.
Uh-oh.
I didn't hate the finish to Dynamite. I didn't hate the ending. And I know a lot of people like after the opening hated the ending, but at the same time it's like, listen, like they are heels. It's okay sometimes to do an episode ending like that where something is a dour ending. And people were like all over like how do you do that opening and then do that ending? I'm like that's why you do that opening.
Yeah.
Like so that you can do that ending. Like people
What?
don't
Of
understand that.
course.
And so people were really all over Death Riders. The only thing I will say about the ending that I kind of got annoyed at, but I can't kill them for it because it happens in wrestling all the time. Um, like I immediately was like, okay, where's Powerhouse Hobbs? Where's Jeff Jarrett?
Mm-hmm.
Where like where are these people
But I've been
now?
I've been saying that for weeks now.
Yeah, no, I know, but in this instance, it's just like listen, like if you it happens in wrestling all the time where it's like you can't have everyone run out every week, otherwise you can't do certain moments or things. So I can't kill them for it. It kind of irked me, but like again, not the first time this has happened in wrestling. Um, so I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the finish. I mean, unfortunately, you almost have to kind of give yourself like a memory wipe on like how on every little you almost have to dumb yourself down to like kind of roll with this Death Riders thing right now because I still don't hate it. It's not perfect, it's not terrible, but it's like in that just middle ground of just like messiness where you almost have to be like, okay, just kind of turn off every little thing and just enjoy the ride you're on with it, kind of if that makes sense.
I know I'm gonna sound like a
So
broken record, but like
yeah,
last night was a perfect example of I am loving the Death Riders part of the storyline, and I'm hating the AEW part of the storyline. One
but
makes
that's why
perfect
yeah,
sense, and one doesn't, and that's what's kind of killing me about this. It's really, it's inconsistent booking,
I
and
think
it's
yeah,
really
I think the
highlighted.
problem. I think the problem was taking those big swings early and making it look like all hands on deck right away was probably a mistake. Probably should have saved like that kind of mentality of the whole roster for a little bit down the line of the
Agreed.
story because now you have that expectation of. Well, I even said that early on too. I was like, this isn't sustainable. You can't do Dark Order and Top Flight running out every freaking
Mm-hmm.
week. So I'm fine with at this point taking it a story at a time and going, okay, right now it's Copeland and FTR in the story with these people. Every single person they've interacted with or touched can't be involved every second. Otherwise, the story can't maintain itself.
Which is
So,
again fine, but
yeah.
at the same time, like when it's 1-on-4, you would expect someone with recent interaction to
Yeah.
come out at least. That's
Yeah.
all. And Jared
Absolutely.
Jared was a good example of that. I didn't even think of that. Jay DeFalco says to make Death Riders work, they need to blend into other storylines using the trio titles, which we've been talking about the trio titles. Using the trio titles can include others and make it feel less insulated. But
Yeah.
that's another thing we've been talking about. We agree with you, man. The trios titles should not be gone, but they are. I don't know. All right,
Yeah.
what's your last
And
point here,
yeah.
dog?
Well, dog. Guys, I don't know why no one's talking about this, but Brody King turned Malachi Black into a dog. He's a dog, Danny. They muzzled him up, they silenced him, they used the Julia Hart Arrow Black Magic, and they made Malachi Black a dog on a leash. What do you have to say for yourself? What are your
I'm
thoughts?
so sad, but I'm hoping this is a giant swerve by AEW and that like Malachi Black isn't going anywhere. But like this
It's a dog.
it just sucks like the way that promo happened and stuff. I'm like, so he's really gone? Is that what you're telling me? Like they're done with him, so he's gone, or are they done with him because he's taking a hiatus and he's coming back and like you're trying to fuck with all of us? I don't know.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think he's done.
Sad
Um,
man.
and kind of my so that was my joke part to get this going. My main point, while we have 2 minutes, I want to try and keep it to the timer. I don't want to go too long here.
All right.
Is the can of worms that's opened up lately between Malachi Black, Ricky Starks, Britt Baker, where it's like Ray Phoenix, where all these people this narrative seems to be going out where like Tony Khan and AEW are just done with all of them and freezing them out and taking all of their merch off of their website so they can't get any money and like all this stuff. And it's just like it's lose lose, but it's like, what do you do? Because on one hand, I'm thinking, okay, like you got to sit down with them in an office as a business and an owner and talk this out and figure it out and make it work. Put them in programs with the people you want to get over and make them lose all the time. Put them with Jericho. Put them in stuff you don't want, people don't want to see. The only thing I can say, and I'll let you go then, so is if they've outright told you that they want out and they want to go to WWE and they're not re-signing, then I don't blame you for doing what you're doing. Because if you know and it's done, don't waste the TV time on them. It's going to build anyway to a fever pitch if they leave in general. So honestly, I don't hate that. But again, that's only if like they've literally told you they're done. All right, go. I want to give you some time.
No, I agree, man. I don't know. I don't know the truth. You know what I mean? We're getting TK side, we're getting Ray Phoenix's side, we're getting Britt Baker's side, but we don't know what's actually happening. We don't know what discussions actually happen, and we'll probably never know. So like as a business standpoint, it's kind of just like let their contracts run out. I wouldn't release them either. Like
No?
regardless, either way, regardless if they want to go to WWE or if I'm just done with them, I'm not going to release them. So if they're not going to work with me, or if this is causing a problem where you can't trust them being on TV, you can't trust them being on TV. It just sucks for us as
Yeah.
fans because we just don't get to see them perform. Respectfully, not Britt Baker as much because like the hype around her has kind of died down
Mm-hmm.
with me. Like I've seen
Mm-hmm.
so many better women's wrestlers since
Oh yeah.
AEW has started that like her hype is whatever. But yeah, no, I agree, man. It's just it's upsetting. That's all I can really say. It's upsetting. So on that
Yeah.
note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come back, talk about some WWE this week. So please don't go anywhere. While you're waiting, sign up for the road to WrestleMania, sign up on our sub, check out our other pages during the commercial, whatever you got to do. Don't go anywhere though. Hello and welcome back, everyone. Thank you for not going anywhere. And we're going to part 2 WWE. Hold on.
So before you do that, we have one comment that came in while we were at commercial. Jay says, if there are any wrestlers who are sitting at home like Phoenix or Starks and the writing's on the wall, just contact WWE and force them to buy out the contract with a penalty and be done with that. Honestly, I don't agree with that because I saw someone
That'd be
mention that
crazy,
also. I saw someone else mention that online over the last like few days. And at first I was like, yeah, get rid of them, fuck it. But then I kept thinking about it. I'm like, no, like don't give the satisfaction, don't set the precedent, like don't give them that win. And I maybe I'm being stubborn and bitter, but it's like they've done so much WWE to like go at everybody, and it's just like don't give them that satisfaction. No, I wouldn't do it personally.
If I'm AEW and TK, I'm not letting them. Again, I'm not letting them buy the contract, and it doesn't change anything. It's just being stubborn, being the principal, whatever you want to call it. But sign a contract. We'll see. All right,
move on.
WWE talk. So starting off with this will be a nice short one. Potentially the match of the year is going to happen at Saturday Night's main event, bro. We got Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman. How do you feel about that?
Man, this show stinks. Like,
you hear the rowdiness,
bro. Like, no, I block it out because I don't listen to WWE's canned boos and cheers. Man, this show looks brutal. I'm sorry. Like,
it really does look like a bad show.
Like, I'm going to hate watch this on Saturday night. Maybe even Sunday morning, depending how I'm feeling. Like, not put myself through the full 2 hours of it, but oh my god,
they had to bring in Shawn Michaels to try to save it, man.
Like, Nia is fighting Rhea. Like, what?
Doesn't
and
make sense.
You got like Sheamus in there, and then you got Jey Uso. Like, it's a murderer's row of all the greatest hits from me.
Doesn't make sense.
Honestly, nothing jumps out that I want. The only thing that jumps out that I relatively want to see would be the segment. But even then, I'm not going to get anything out of it. So
yeah, it's just to me to see like how they interact. That's about it. No, I just wanted to Killer Tomato welcome just says just need Hogan. No.
You know, and that's some BS because I saw something. I'm waiting for this. Apparently, Jesse Ventura is going to be there as well this weekend, and he's publicly said that if Hogan is on these Saturday night main events, he won't be there, and he says he's going to be there. So if Hogan's there and he's there, like, I mean, whatever. Wrestling is
Hogan is not going to be after what happened the last time. I don't think they're ever bringing Hogan out again.
He's going to be there. They're going to bring him out as a heel. You wait.
That would be crazy.
Black and white. I'm telling you.
All right,
money talks.
We'll see. All right, moving on. The number one Rey Mysterio podcast had a week. Juice. Oh my God. Rey Mysterio was all over WWE. I know Matt was at home throwing his baby in the air. He was so excited with his Rey Mysterio mask on. It was crazy. So Rey comes out on SmackDown, announces himself for the Royal Rumble. Then KO comes out very respectfully, may I add. All this KO hate is getting on my nerves. But very respectfully says, hey, man, if you want a title shot, I believe you're going to win the Rumble. When you win, challenge me. It's my dream to face you, especially at WrestleMania. Rey very disrespectfully tells him pretty much no. Maybe if you win the shot, kid, but like probably not. And then they have a match that night. So Rey made events SmackDown and then goes on to Raw and has another great match on Raw against, oh man, I'm blanking right now because they had the segment. I'm mixing up the SmackDown and the Raw. Oh yeah, against Kofi because they had the New Day segment.
So great.
So him and Kofi had like a great match and another segment with him and the New Day, just all over wrestling this week, and not in a bad way. Again, good matches, good promos out of him, good interactions with people. Don't know if you caught any of it.
You know what that all sounds like to me, Danny? You know?
Go ahead, tell me.
That sounds like a lot of points for Rey Mysterio if you draft him on your fantasy team.
He would have been crushing it this week.
Appearing on Raw and SmackDown, that's a lot of fantasy points. So
I
be sure to sign up.
I believe he won on SmackDown. I'm sorry, won on Raw. I think he lost to KO on SmackDown, but won on Raw, so that's more points. So pretty good week for Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, quick plug. If you haven't heard, we're doing a fantasy league for the WrestleMania season. If you want to sign up, just write in chat that you are in, and I will get with you and we'll discuss details. It's gonna be fun. The only thing about Rey Mysterio that I saw was the botched power bomb that Kofi gave him on the outside, where like
Of course.
he lost his grip. Well, again, if it goes viral, I'm gonna see it.
Of
Uh,
course, that's so funny.
yeah, Kofi lost his grip, and Ray. Hey, man, props to Ray though, doing that flip and landing like okay. That
Yeah.
could have been really bad.
Yeah. No, agreed. Totally agreed. All right. Moving
Let's
on.
do.
So DIY, I'm bringing up. They didn't have a match, but DIY had a good backstage segment, which don't know if you saw, but we were talking about how Gargano would act with this new heel turn, and we were nervous how he would be and stuff. And last night kind of showed a glimpse of it, and I'm kind of all for it if this is how he goes. So
Last night.
I'm sorry, on SmackDown. My apologies. So, on SmackDown, they had a backstage interaction with Pretty Deadly because they were like, "Oh man, you let them win," and Tommaso Ciampa like goes in on them and like is the angry dad pretty much, and then Gargano comes as like the comforting guy, is like, "Hey man, like we believe in you guys," kind of manipulating them like, "You make our lives easier, we make your lives easier. Just go out there, win, be the number one contender, like all this stuff." Then they go to walk away. So pretty standard stuff, not bad. I was like, all right, no big deal. Apollo Crews comes up to Pretty Deadly, pretty much like makes fun of them, saying that they're being played or whatever. And you expect Tommaso to come in, and out of nowhere, Gargano just bum rushes him and beats the crap out of him, and just like, stay out of our business, just gets like real mad, kind of like Tommaso anger and stuff. And it was like a kind of interesting heel turn where it's like he's this crazy person underneath, but trying to be this like kind manipulator on the surface, like trying to be the good guy to Tommaso's bad guy. So I'm kind of down for it. I want to see how it plays out more, but it was pretty interesting last on SmackDown.
Okay, I mean, I haven't seen any of it, so I can't judge. But
Check that segment out for sure. Check that
I
segment
probably,
out.
I probably
And
won't. But thank you.
I probably. You are the worst. Eventually, you will have to, though, because you're doing the Road to WrestleMania. You will have to watch everything. So I'm trying to give you a heads up before it happens, but
Not,
that's up to you.
not
But
everything. Only the wrestlers that people.
everything.
Only the wrestlers that people draft.
I'm going to make sure everyone gets drafted. So you have to watch every match.
Well, that's just not fun. Fantasy.
All right.
Sign up and draft my least favorite wrestlers, so I have to watch them.
Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman everywhere. So, last thing, main event. Tiffany Stratton, Bailey. I really was nervous that they weren't going to get the main event spot once they announced Ray versus KO, because they sometimes do that, and especially because they were giving like random promos. But they gave them the main event spot. Really good match, in my opinion. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Those of you at home, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. Very good match between her and Bailey. Really got to showcase like what Tiffany can do, a little more offense for her. Bailey was kind of back in her regular form where she's performing great matches and stuff. So just wanted to give them a highlight. Great SmackDown main event. Glad the women's got the main event. Different women's match also. Bailey and Stratton really haven't had a one-on-one, so enjoyed that.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
About Tiff. Is she face or heel right now?
She is a tweener, in my opinion.
No.
Where
No.
on the surface she still has the heel tendencies, but because like depending on who she's gonna face, she can also kind of go into a face mode if it's like Nia Jax or Cancel Ray or something like that.
That's very annoying. I do not like that answer at all.
I know. Truth hurts sometimes.
I don't. And before you move on, I feel like this is a good time for me to bring up my women's Royal Rumble take. From what I've gathered, it looks like only two people have committed to the women's Rumble, and that is Bailey and Nia Jax with the
Yes,
women's
sir.
Royal Rumble. With the women's Royal Rumble next week, only two people are
That's
known,
true.
whereas with the men, you know 9 names already.
Not true, Killer Tomato. Not AJ Lee.
And it just makes me think like we've seen this dance before. WWE always does this when they don't promote the match for the Rumble and they don't tell you a lot of people that are going to be in it. Typically, that means whoever's winning it is debuting or returning at the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So Like that's what I think's going on here. I think they've like punted the Rumble build, which is really annoying because they don't want to build up 5 or 6 different people, God forbid, that don't win for the one
Crazy.
person that's going to win not being around. So
You know
that's
what
my
they're
little.
doing that for, which is weird, is the men's Royal Rumble, which they're building up a bunch of people that could possibly win, and only one will win. So weird how they can't do that for 2 Royal Rumbles on the same night.
God forbid. God forbid.
Shame.
Yeah, that's all. That's my little mini hot take. It's probably going to be somebody returning. It's probably going to be like Charlotte, honestly. That's my current.
Yeah, I agree too. Charlotte. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Charlotte too. God damn it. All right.
They go
So
killer tomato. Charlotte will win. Yep.
this next point doesn't have to be long at all. It's more of a warning for you as someone who's going to be starting to watch Raw, and Jey Uso is definitely going to be someone who's drafted a lot. Michael Cole has started to dance to Jey Uso's song and doing the yeets, and it is so disturbing. Makes me physically ill, and the fact that they allow him to do this on TV every week is very poor decision making and bad booking that they even put him on TV with it. It's I'm warning you, bro. It's bad. So just wanted to give you the heads up there. You don't even have to say anything. Just want to let you know Michael Cole is now yeet dancing weekly on Raw live on Netflix.
Thank you for the warning. Next point, please.
So, you know what? We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit since Killer Tomato asked. But first, I'm going to continue on my points, which is this is why Raw lost 30% of viewers since the first Raw on Netflix. He must be stopped. I don't disagree. Because it is like the opening of the show sometimes, like it was this past Monday. It was almost the first thing you saw, and a lot of people were just turned that off right away.
Nope.
So, Raw, like I said before, and SmackDown too, Raw had a lot of good promos, though. Jey Uso had a good promo with Gunther. I know. The match isn't going to be the greatest, but had a good promo where they kind of went back and forth, and Gunther saying, like, you don't deserve this, you're not on my level, and Jay kind of answered with, like, a nice one-shot kill, which is like, hey, man, only one of us is main event at WrestleMania. You're not him. So, you can't – I knew you were going to do that reaction. I knew it, and that's bullshit because you always say KO and Sami Zayn and blah, 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 and you can't give the Usos the same credit for main eventing WrestleMania. You gave Sami Zayn and KO the credit for main eventing WrestleMania.
When?
I don't know. I didn't bookmark the show.
I mean, I didn't like. Okay, I mean, if you say so, I wasn't like, no, they main evented. Like they're.
I'm not saying you died on the sword, but I'm saying like you're whatever. Anyway, moving on. So go ahead.
No, it's whatever. I mean,
Okay.
the whole point. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, move on.
So that was a good promo with Jey Uso and Gunther. I didn't mind that. Did you catch the CM Punk promo on any social media?
I did not.
So CM Punk had another kind of one-on-one fire promo. Nothing new, but just the way he delivered it, what he was talking about, which is the Royal Rumble and all these guys coming in and kind of going at certain guys and like using either their catchphrases or certain things about them against them. It was a standard promo, but a good one delivered by Punk. Bayley did a good promo, which we'll get into in a second, announcing her Royal Rumble and other things. And then the last promo, give me 1 second, I'm just checking my notes. The last promo was, KO again. KO having another good promo. This time with, who did he talk? This time with Sami Zayn. And this really started the Sami Zayn KO program that you kind of mentioned that you think is going to happen at WrestleMania. I think kind of started last night where Sami Zayn did the same thing where he announced himself for the Royal Rumble. KO did the same thing that he did with Ray, which is kind of come out and be like, hey, I want you to win. I know you're going to win. You're my best friend. Win it. And then me and you face at WrestleMania. Unlike Ray, though, he didn't give Sami this chance to say anything. He kind of said, I'm going to watch your back for a Royal Rumble like I know you're going to watch my back for the main event. So we're both going to see each other at WrestleMania. Kind of insinuating that they'll help each other at Royal Rumble win their respective matches. Sami Zayn didn't say anything. KO kind of left before that can get started. Which leads me to believe Sami Zayn gets involved and helps Cody win somehow. I don't know, or he just doesn't get involved at all. Obviously one of those two, but I don't think it's an KO win. So yeah, some more promos get you a little kick started for this road to WrestleMania, so you know what you're in store for.
I know what I'm in store for.
Another transfer has been official. Now, while you might think it is Nia Jax because she is challenging for the Raw Women's Championship at Saturday night's main event,
it's Bayley.
It is Bayley. Bayley has been officially transferred to Raw as she announced, and she is entering the Royal Rumble. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand how you start off with Nia Jax attacking Rhea because she's entering herself in the Royal Rumble and she wants everyone to know she's a force to be reckoned with, which leads to a title match, but not a member of the Raw roster. And then you have Bayley transferred. These transfer things also aren't explained. They're just coming out and saying, I've been transferred. We don't know if they're being traded. We don't know what was the compensation. Am I to believe that it was a one-on-one Bayley? I'm sorry, a 1-on-6 Bayley for the Wyatt 6 trade? Like, I don't know what the trade was, so what's going on? They are meaningless. I do agree, Jay DeFalco.
Yeah, it's all whatever, man. Honestly, I think they're just playing. They're playing with their food to the Rumble.
Sure.
Because like I find it, and I also find it hard to believe. By the way, maybe they'll surprise me, but like all these rumors, like Charlotte's back, Jade's back, Becky's back, Bliss is back, Carmella's back, like Nikki's coming back, like AJ. There's no way all of those people are going to show up in the Rumble. If they do, bravo, man.
It's going to be one of the greatest Women's Royal Rumble ever.
That's a lot of names to bring back in one night, and knowing Triple H, knowing Triple H, you're going to get like 2, maybe 3 of those.
Agreed. Agreed.
We'll see how this goes.
All right. Final point of the night, along with a lot of fire promos. There's a lot of good matches. Raw, I think, delivered for the first time in a long time, like almost top to bottom, pretty much delivered. Obviously, if you don't like certain wrestlers, certain programs that are happening, of course, but trying to be a little unbiased, I think everything really delivered well. The Kofi versus Rey Mysterio match, very good. Just adds to that storyline a little more. Then we had we had Bayley versus Nia Jax. I hate Nia Jax, but I do like Bayley. That match, for what it was a good women's match. Penta versus Pete Dunne was a great match. If you haven't seen that one, please watch that one. That was a really cool match. I really enjoyed that one a lot. And then even going back to your Women's Royal Rumble, actually, Pure Fusion Collective versus Damage Control. We're talking about trying to build up all these possible contenders. You want to give your big people a break. Nia Jax just lost the title. She doesn't even be challenged for the Raw. You have 6 women here who can go. You have 6 women here who can be real contenders, and even for the mid-card, whatever, and that are just being put in the same 6-man tag. They're giving them 2 weeks between each match and then putting them in a rinse and repeat. It's so annoying. They had another good match last night, but like, who cares? Because you've seen it 3 times already in the past 2 months. I just don't understand. And they're probably not going to be in the Rumble, and I don't understand why either.
Well, that's Triple H's MO, is running the towns with the same. How many times did we see Judgment Day versus Sami and Owens or some iteration for like 9 months?
Exactly.
Jay says cut Dunne's promo off at the end, talking about being disrespected, and they cut him off. Fantastic.
Yep. That was so awesome to cut him off just to set up the Penta. Oh, man, that was so good too. And then the McIntyre-Rollins rematch. Again, rinse and repeat, but it was still a good match, a good Raw match. They delivered like you knew they would. So, like, Raw really starting to kind of show what they might do, and if this is kind of going to be their blueprint, I don't mind it too much if they can kind of keep delivering like this.
So, I have 2 points I want to bring up. First off, I saw the clip of Zoe Stark's springboard dropkick into the ring. That looked beautiful.
So cool, man. It was so good.
So that was very cool. I always like Stark, but I don't think she's gonna I don't know.
I don't
I
think
feel
she's
like
gonna
they've
be a
given her.
world champion, but she's a good worker, man. She
Yeah,
can do a
yeah,
good match.
I do like her. And my last point is, you know, it's the business. It is what it is. But like I was thinking about it between Raw's going down to 2.5 hours and Dynamite's losing Rampage. Like ticket prices are going up, and fans are just paying more and more money to see less when they go to shows. And I just had to get that off my chest because I thought about that this week, and I'm like, on both fronts, it's kind of BS. How like I used to get a ticket for Dynamite, know you're going to see Rampage. Now you get one less hour of wrestling. You go to Raw, you get like 30 minutes less, or even an hour less. Like you don't even know how much time you're going to get. But
And
just
then
a nitpick.
and then the other thing
Yeah.
I'll say, not for AEW, but WWE, I get it that your pay-per-views, you're trying to make each match seem huge and stuff, but like 5 matches, that's what I'm paying for a stadium, like to go into
Well,
to those
yeah.
arenas to get those tickets to sit in those nosebleeds for 5 when you used to get 10 or 12. Like it's just so
What?
frustrating, man. You don't need to give everyone 45 minutes. You don't need to give the in between 45 minutes. Like it's so upsetting. It really is.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows the sweet spot is 7 to 8 matches
I
for pay
agree.
per view.
7 8
Um,
is a good one.
so before we wrap up, I want to make sure we get back to Killer Tomato's question about Corey
Oh yeah,
Graves
I'm
and the
gonna
Heat.
hold on one second just so we know to clip this differently. Go ahead.
So with Corey Graves and the current heat going on,
I know, Jim.
um,
It's crazy.
or quote unquote heat with NXT, um, yeah, I think it was real.
I
Um,
do too.
I think I think it was real. I don't know if you saw the picture of him back at the desk this past week, but the
Hmm.
very first thing they had him say is, "There's nowhere else I'd rather be." And I'm like, if that doesn't sound like a man with a gun to his head after the last few weeks,
Bro,
I don't know what else does.
that's the first thing I thought
Um,
of. Was like, oh man, are you just repeating word for word? Are they saying it into the headset as you're saying it live? Like that's crazy.
yeah, it's sad, and honestly, I'm sure he did get a slap on the wrist, and I'm sure he did mean it. And I still don't blame him at all for what he said because I think I agree with him.
And I'm
Um,
sure what happened, and the reason he's back on NXT is because they said, hey, you can either go on NXT or sit home until your contract runs out. But, like, it's not going to be anything besides that. And what's he going to do? Sit home? Like, he wants to be on air. He's going to try to get his voice better. And then hopefully when his contract is up, get the fuck over to AEW. Like, get out of there. Get more money at AEW. I don't know, man.
and that's the crazy thing I was thinking about it. Like, not to open up another can of worms, but it's like when you used to leave WWE, it was okay, you can just go to AEW, or okay, you can just go to TNA. But now the news broke, and I'm shocked you didn't put this in your bullet points. WWE and TNA have a full fledged partnership now.
Yeah, I
Like
forgot about that.
press release and everything.
Yep.
And like, I'm sorry, but eventually WWE is going to own TNA. I'm sure they probably already have a percentage stake and they own something in it. Do not put that past them.
Yep.
Um, I saw the story where like TNA just announced, like I think sometime next month, they're filming some episodes of TNA Impact at Full Sail University where NXT used to tape. Like you can't tell me that's already not the influence of like. But listen,
I wouldn't be surprised
it's
if you see Hendry in the Royal Rumble.
oh I'm sure he just won the TNA
That's what
title.
I'm
By the way,
saying. I
congrats
wouldn't
to
be
him.
shocked. He already called out
Um,
John Cena, too.
yeah, some people see it as a good thing. I've been around long enough where if it talks like a duck and it quacks like and it looks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So I've seen this before. I've seen this song and dance. I know what's going on. This is not good for the business. This is not good for the talent. It only gives them one less place to go in the great big WWE pipeline now of the WWE ID program, where wrestlers essentially can't go to like all these other companies and train unless they want to be put in the pipeline. And I don't like it at all.
And
Uh,
respectively, have been complaining about something very similar that AEW did with ROH. Look at how ROH is now just nothing because AEW kind of took it over and won't feed it more into it.
well, little different. Yes, I get what you're saying, but like that company was dead in the water. It closed,
Oh, of course. I'm
and
not. I'm not saying that they killed it. I'm saying that they are not rebuilding it as a separate thing. It's kind of like their
yeah,
training system.
yeah, no, and that is true. But I don't see it like A and B as like the same. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. Rumors are that it is also to mess with AEW's overseas TV deals. Now that WWE's on Netflix, so AEW can't get those deals. TNA will be picked apart and discarded once WWE gets what it wants. That's absolutely true. I believe that. I know that was Meltzer, so I know the source is whatever, but I would not put it past, WWE to use TNA as a weapon to stop AEW from getting international TV deals. Would not surprise me.
What I also find funny is Motor City Machine Guns just like signed with WWE away from TNA, and now they're going to probably be back on TNA TV in a few months.
It's so funny. And then like I saw like what was it? I think Mackenzie Mitchell like wrote some like cute tweet about like homecoming or being whatever. And I'm like, like you got fired from this place. And no, I'm just saying, listen, I mean, I'm sure they don't care as much as some fans do, but it's like you got fired from this place and now you're partners with them and now you have to like put a smile on and be like, oh, chummy with them. Like
just like Corey Grave does, baby.
This is what sucks about what they're doing. Like everyone thinks it's amazing. This is not good. And it's different from what AEW is doing with New Japan and Stardom and CMLL and Ring of Honor. It's not the same. Like they're not.
Oh no, not at all. They're not owning. They don't own any part of them.
It's just I don't like it. I don't like it.
I agree.
That's all I got to say. I'm done.
All right. Well, with that, folks, I hope you did like the show tonight. And I hope you do join us for the Road to WrestleMania. Remember, first week starts next week just for Royal Rumble, though, not for anything else. We're just doing the Royal Rumble the first week to kind of give us a little prep. And then the day after starts the real first week. Am I correct on that?
Yeah. So, again, if you want to do the Road to WrestleMania fantasy game, just write in chat or reach out to me personally. Let me know you're in. Then from there, you have until the Royal Rumble pay-per-view starts to send me or post on our socials your team that you want to assemble. All the points and the roster pools, it's all over on our Facebook. So go to our Facebook to look up that information. If you want it sent to you via text, I can do that as well. Just get in touch with me, and that's it. You can just set up your team, and you can set it and forget it. But the goal is to every week change your team based on the matches that are coming up to strengthen your points potential. So again,
pick Rey Mysterio.
It's a Road to WrestleMania fantasy game where you get a budget. I can give you all the details off stream, but if you're in, let us know if you're any of our socials at any time.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. We will see you Tuesday for our variety hour, 7 o'clock. See you later, everybody.
Peace out.